Now, given China's economic heft and position at the nexus of global supply chains, the new strain of coronavirus is affecting companies far and wide in multiple sectors. Here's how a selection of multinational brands are responding to the epidemic. Take a look. The travel sector is most directly affected by China's decision to quarantine dozens of cities and ban overseas tour groups. Other countries have told their nationals to avoid travel to China and banned arrivals from there. Leading carriers have canceled all their flights to China, including Air Canada, Air France, KLM, American Airlines, British Airways, Delta, Finnair, Lufthansa, United Airlines, and Virgin Atlantic. Meanwhile, Hong Kong's Cathay Pacific asked its entire workforce of 27,000 to take up to 3 weeks of unpaid leave. Casinos and businesses in Macau have closed their doors. So have Disney theme parks in Shanghai and Hong Kong. In Paris, department stores are unusually quiet, and luxury brands in Europe are growing more worried about protests in Hong Kong and already hit their performance in Greater China. MSC Cruises, Costa Cruises, and Royal Caribbean have canceled stops by their ships in China, while others decided Friday to refuse any passengers who has been to China, Hong Kong, or Macau in the previous 14 days. Taiwan tech giant Foxconn is telling some staff to stay away for up to 14 days, even after it resumes most production on February 10. Now that could affect global supply chains for tech companies that rely on Foxconn to assemble everything from Apple's iPhones to flat-screen TVs and laptops. South Korea's LG Electronics and Swedish group Ericsson have also withdrawn from this month's Mobile World Congress. Chinese telecoms groups such as Huawei and ZTE say they will take precautionary measures and limit their presence at the February 24 to 27 conference in Barcelona. Meanwhile, Wuhan, the central Chinese city that is ground zero of the outbreak, is a hub for foreign car makers from the United States, Europe, Japan, and South Korea. Hyundai Motors says it is suspending all production in South Korea because of a lack of parts from China. Toyota has also extended the closure of its Chinese plants to February 16. French group Renault said it was suspending work at its plant in Busan, South Korea for 4 days in anticipation of supply problems from China. Electric car pioneer Tesla says the virus could delay a planned acceleration of the production at its giant new factory in Shanghai and potentially affect earnings this quarter. Mainland China is the second biggest market of U.S. coffee chain Starbucks, with more than 4,000 outlets. Half of them have been closed by the outbreak. Fast food chain giant McDonald's has closed all of its several hundred restaurants in Hubei, the province of Wuhan, but some 3,000 others in China remain open. Pizza Hut and KFC are also suffering closures in Hubei province imposed by their Chinese parent company, Yum China. Others are sportswear giants Nike and Adidas have shuttered hundreds of stores in China. European plane maker Airbus has halted production at its plant in Tianjin, east of Beijing. However, not all companies are suffering. 3M, a leading maker of protective face masks, is cranking up its production.